What's up, everyone? Welcome back to In the Bag. This is Robbie C. How you doing, Robbie C?
Doing good.
Yeah. Hey, no, you're not in 2 times right now. That just came in hot. We're back at it. Robbie's fresh off vacation. I'm fresh off nothing.
I wonder how long someone could keep it up if you were a podcaster, if you just came in firing on all cylinders to make people think something was wrong with it for a second.
Yeah.
But then for the real 2-timers out there, can you just imagine that if we were trying to speed through?
Yeah.
Are you okay, Brad? Do you listen to any podcasts?
I listen
Are you a podcast guy?
I listen to more podcasts than I listen to anything else.
Okay, so are you a 2-timer or
Nope.
are you normal speed?
Nope, that would bother me. The difference in like the tonality would bother me too much. I've tried before. I can't. As an audio guy, I can't do it.
Yeah. I told Lindsay that my rule is if I think I'm ever going to meet the person, I listen to it at normal speed. If I don't think that's ever going to happen,
Yeah.
I listen to them at 1.5. That's my standard pace. Just because I am someone who takes a lot of pauses when you meet me in person, and I'm like thinking about my thoughts because I really don't think about anything before I start talking. I just kind of do it on the fly. But I take a lot of pauses. So if you listen to me at 2.5 speed or 2 speed, I am sure that meeting me would be a painful experience.
Yeah.
Because
You'd be
why
ultra
is my
slow.
talking so slow?
Yeah. I couldn't do that. It cracks me up with Hunter on Grip Locked because his intro he does is, and it's like, it sounds like he's actually sped up every time, and he does it so clean that it sounds like it's just sped up. So I'm always impressed by that.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Grip Block.
Well, it's a Grip Lock this out of there, but your weekly podcast. This is Hunter.
Joined as always
Trevor,
by Hunter.
Yeah,
Joined all by Trevor and Connor.
yeah. I want to see Hunter try to just do like do a little Busta Rhymes like rapping, like just see how fast he can go. Bet you could do it. Comment below if you want to see Hunter rap. Maybe we'll just do an all rap battle episode. If it's good, rap battle.
But speaking of wrapping things up, we got to wrap up our 2K giveaway. I was not here last week, but guys, the prompt was fantastic. Best advice you've ever received from In the Bag.
Yeah.
Wrong answers only. We have 3 honorable mentions. Honestly, if you're looking for a good time, guys, go to the YouTube episode, check it out, and just read. You guys came up with such fantastic comments.
Yeah.
I had forgotten that was an idea for the giveaway prompt. So as I started reading the comments, because I wasn't there that week, I hadn't listened to the episode yet. So I started reading the comments and I was like,
wait, what?
Oh no, something's gone horribly wrong. Checking the date. Is it April 1st? What's happening? And then it was, it's wrong answers only. Awesome. So
hey, speaking of good times.
It's peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time.
I had to for the peanut butter jelly time haters out there. That's for you. Oh, it won't stop. Okay. It won't stop. All right, we're at it.
Joke's on you. It's like when you buy a gag gift for someone on Amazon, and then for the next 6 months, all you get is recommendations about that gag gift, and they're like,
tough.
"Oh, they got me back."
That's tough. All right, but seriously, here's our some honorable mentions. We appreciate everybody with the comments. It was a great time. There were a couple that really caught me off guard that I actually laughed out loud about, which is always a great time. So, one of my personal favorites, as an honorable mention, is Lou Cried 7653. That said, Brad taught me that not letting all your mids be MVP is more important than having a well-rounded lineup. I love that. That's just that's a callback. That's beautiful. Great comment. Comment.
You know, it's sometimes you just gotta lean in and say,
well crafted.
This is. Why would I have the discs I want when I can make sure that I don't have those discs?
Yeah,
right. That's the real.
That's really what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to make sure everyone has the wrong discs, and I have all the wrong ones also.
In the same vein, Thuzan Ban Pete. That sounds right. Now that I'm saying it out loud, that sounds like the right way to pronounce your name. But Pete, best advice I got from In the Bag is to bag only one manufacturer, even Only bag one manufacturer. Stay loyal, even if there's no incentive. If you find something else from a different company, too bad. Stay loyal.
Love
you guys. Thanks, RDK. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, Pete, that's great. Again, well crafted. A lot of the. It's funny, like when you read through the comments, because I'm like, we do have a lot of like bits, kind of
little quirks.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, there's one. Yep, that's true. Yep, that's true. And of course, Jerry, just going straight at it. Best advice, hands down. If it's good, keep it on your shelf. Jerry said 35.29. If it's good, keep it on. Look behind me. A lot of good discs there.
A lot of good discs behind both of us. We're hanging out, having a good time with it. But our winner, one stood above the rest, and we thought, hey, it leans into our longest standing bit.
The lore, if you will.
Yeah, the true. Like when we think about, we have in the bag merch available, foundationdisc.com. Little plug, so thanks for Chris Jensen for getting us there. But it's on our merch. Mm-hmm. So, Brad, you want to read the winning comment from Chris Jensen 9233?
I would. Best advice I've gotten from In the Bag is from episode 57. The entire episode was pure disc golf gold. Totally changed my game. Well done, Chris. Well done. Well done. For any of you new folks that may have never don't understand the episode 56 thing, well, there was episode 56, and then the next episode, we just thought it was episode 56. It went up labeled as episode 56. So, which was actually 57, and then 58 came after. So there's no actual episode 56 or 57 in the bag canon, if you will. So
it became a thing where I was asking. I would try to do it in the intro, be like, "Hey guys, welcome into."
Which episode?
I don't know. And then everything became episode 56. So we were always looking around the corner at episode 56. Mm-hmm. It's a good time. Episode 56 lives long in our hearts. It's a little easier now, I will say, because when I do basically our show notes, pull in the questions, I put the episode number down. Yeah. So I'm aware of it now, but it's also why episode 156, we tried to make different. So
just came in.
Oh baby, Zone SS's.
Do you have one yet?
I do not have a Zone SS.
You're about to have one.
I didn't get those, because the Melitas are still just in like test thing.
Thank you. Yeah, and that pre-order is up live, by the way, if anyone is listening and interested in the Zone SS pre-order.
Brad, are we just going to bang out what's new in the warehouse at the top? What do you think?
I didn't plan on doing that, but here we are.
What if we just do it? What if we just send it, dude?
This episode's crazy. All right.
Chris Jensen, by the way.
Yes.
How do we want Chris Jensen to get a hold of us?
I want him to message or DM us on Instagram, Chris.
Okay. Bang.
Actually, Chris, you can just email me, brad@foundationdiscs.com.
I'm saying this for public accountability for both of us.
Yes.
Dill Mill, I think is his name, was asking about the Atlas stuff like a couple episodes ago. And I've seen him commenting on a couple things.
He has a bag.
Okay, bang. There you go. I wanted public accountability for everyone who's reading it to know.
For sure.
We see. We got the things.
There's actually 2 of you that reached out, and both of you got the hookup. So thank you for reaching out.
Wow. Episode 56, providing like always.
Yeah.
But Brad, what's new in the warehouse, man? This is crazy.
We're just throwing this episode out. It's just crazy. So this week, I'm looking at a floor full of Innova. Every Innova, anything you want is
a floor full is such an accurate description. When I saw that picture yesterday, Brad, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I didn't even know we had that much free space in the floor in our warehouse.
Oh, yeah, we can fit a lot of boxes. We've had a lot of boxes on this floor. So floor full meaning we have our, I call them sleeves that we put on our shelves that hold the discs. And when we get new, like a big stock order in, the guys will go through, warehouse guys, shout out Max, Graham, and Xander here. They kind of go through, they get everything out of the boxes, they kind of organize them by mold, by plastic, all that on the floor because we have so much floor space on the entryway, and then they kind of make it to the appropriate shelf. Like Max was putting oh, hey, these are the ones we're the lowest on, they're going up first, and he was kind of prioritizing them as they came in. So floor full of Innova, so a lot of stuff will go up. I know we got the Fox, the new Fox, and it feels great, by the way.
Minus 2-1?
Yep. It feels like an Origin. It's just like an Innova Origin, which is not a bad thing. Haven't thrown it yet, playing on it. I believe those go live this week. If not, you won't see them in recently restocked. But so that's going up. That's exciting. Also, we have, I don't even have it beside me, the Limitless stamp from Course Conquest. It's on the Star It, which is Hunter's not had it in his bag for a minute because he lost his. So really fun disc, great stamp. That one dropped on Thursday, so there may be some still left at the time of this podcast. We also have Fusion Bounty. We have this cool Liftoff Renegade, which is a Renegade's a disc I've never really messed with, Robbie, but it seems like a great mold. I'm sure you being
Great mold.
being a previous trilogy guy. We have a Huck Labs stamped Swan 2 in like Lucid Glimmer plastic. I got that because that felt like a really good time. So I like the Swan actually. The Swan 2 is fun, and I don't
Reborn, baby.
Yeah, no one talks about it. So we have
Classic West Side.
Yeah. We have some mint restock. We have Lassos back in stock. Sublime. We have some Glow Prophets. We have Soft Glow Mustang. So that's fun. We have some Tacos restocked. So we did a little bit of mint restocking as well. A few other molds. Make sure you the pre-orders for the MVP stuff is still up. The Halloween stuff that will only be up for a little while longer. So make sure you check out that. And again, the pre-order for the Zone SS is up live too. And actually, we may even have the regular product up by then. So just maybe check. We just got it. So they're all Z plastic, so they should be pretty easy, relatively speaking, to get up and ready. But we'll kind of see. Yeah. So
guys, sounds like a big week. Also, you got 2 days left to order your sub box for this month.
Exactly. Great box this month. Robbie, did you get yours yet? Was it waiting for you?
I have it. I have not opened it. My plan is, honestly, I'm probably going to go live after we finish recording this. So that way, if I want to film anything with those beautiful Frisbees, I get the chance. That's the worst mistake I make, guys, is Foundation sends awesome packages. And sometimes I wait to go live till after I filmed. And I'm such a silly man because it's like, well, I could have used that really cool Frisbee during the video. So
and there's some bonus stuff in there for you too. So as always,
open before you go, everyone. Open before you go.
That's what I always say. All right. Well, anyway, if anyone even cares, whatever, in the bag, we're gonna answer some questions now. But
I guess we're gonna do that.
Whatever. Also, one thing. I don't think people are really utilizing your lessons very well right now, Robbie. I know you have quite a few that you're doing, but you have some time open. Make sure y'all are checking out Robbie's lessons. Great things. I will say, Robbie, and this is not just me hyping you up, but all of the little comments you made to like help me correct that I've asked you for. You're not like a overcorrector when no one asks, but the little hints you have given me, I feel like are all starting to click together. Because I realized one other thing, and I'm like, oh, that's why he said this. Oh, that's how you do this. This is how you do that. So the forms look a little, and the play's a little goofy at the moment, but it's because everything's clicking together. One thing, all right, we need to get to this episode. Maybe we'll have another episode at another time, but maybe like a little bit of, maybe I'll submit a question, Robbie. And
baby.
That will be fun. And then maybe we'll do something with that. But I have a little bit of update as far as my gameplay and some other thoughts that I had. And I don't know, maybe let us know, like if anyone in the comments comment and just say, let us know if you like, I'll do a live form review, Robbie, if people want me to. And we can talk. But I think how it ties to In the Bag is like we can do a live form review. Maybe I'll just do some video. We'll throw it up in the episode. We can talk about it. I'll just be brutally honest, and then let's compare it to like my bag and like maybe talk through my bag and kind of why it shifted the way that it shifted. Maybe I think that could be helpful to people. So you'll let us know. Let us know if you're like, no, just answer questions. You In the Bag boys do the In the Bag thing. Perfectly fine too. So speaking about the In the Bag,
let us know formats you'd want to see for that video.
I believe this is the first one's from Benoit. I think is
Benoit,
is how you say that. And if it's not Benoit.
How come in my funny enough, it's Benoit, like it has to be Benoit, but for some reason whenever I read it, I always call it Benoit because
which is also fun.
I am an American and I not only am American, real Southern. That's probably a better way to put it. American. It's unfortunate. So how come in field practice, I don't know why I paused it. Come in field. How come in field practice, my shots are going so straight, but as soon as I have a tunnel shot on the course, can never seem to get it straight.
Oh, I have an answer.
Fire away.
Okay. You are not thinking about the gap, you're thinking about the things on the sides of the gaps. So subconsciously that you're pulling to those things. That's the psychology answer.
Throw them where you aim.
Throw them
where you think. Yeah.
If you really, I find myself. I actually did this morning. Jason and I filmed a bonus Patreon video today for our Hyzer Club people, and that's all I'll say about that. But there's like a tunnel shot, and I was like, I really need to make this tunnel, and I didn't, and I had a second one, and I did it, and I'm like, why am I doing that? In my head, I'm like, oh, because I'm thinking about how small this gap is in the trees on the side. I'm throwing what I'm thinking at versus like, hey, I just need to throw at this thing. So I think that's really what it is. I think also like not psychology related. I think can be T-pad placement. It could be how you're approaching the end of the T-pad geometry, using your term, Robbie, which is something I've really started paying attention to a lot lately. Could be the slope of the T-pad, could be a lot of different things.
Yeah. I think that the tee box geometry is one of the big things that I think when people go to throw into a field, a couple restrictors that aren't necessarily happening on your tee pad that aren't happening in the field that are happening on a tee pad. I had a lesson that I did with someone, and we talked about their first two steps during their throw, and how their first two steps were eating so much of the tee box up because they were taking normal full-size steps for those first two steps. Then when they got to the plant step, which is the most important and where all of the timing of the disc golf throw is like kind of contained into, they had such a small fraction of the tee box left that they were shorting everything because they couldn't do a full stride for that step. Why? Because they'd wasted it. Where if you're in a field and you're not on a literal tee box, right, you can just take massive strides. And so you have more tee space to work with. You also could be taking a different approach, because I know there are tons of people who cannot throw starting off of the tee box. Like if they have to, any time that you're transitioning onto the tee box, even if it's perfectly flat, just messes with their head. So I think that's definitely something. And then the other is just it's a tenseness. It is a thing that comes with, there's no pressure of shanking a shot in the field. There is pressure that comes with shanking a shot when there's trees to hit, when there's a round on the line, even if the round doesn't really matter. And that tenseness is going to cause your muscles to react differently, and your form's going to be slightly different. So I think that it is perfectly normal. And I have seen, there was a couple comments. I ended up I didn't address all of them specifically, but I noticed that in our submissions, I was just kind of scrolling through randomly, trying to find questions to pull for this episode. And I come across 3 different questions that were basically the same as Benoit's. They were just asking about like a different facet of, when I'm in the field, this happens, and when I'm not in the field, when I'm on the course, I can't do that thing again. Like whether it's throwing as fast or accuracy related things, right? So I think that tenseness kind of applies to all of it, but I think you're spot on, Brad, and that where are we focusing, especially if accuracy is your issue, you're throwing where you think. Like, we used to make fun of my friend in college who got into disc golf with me, because if there were people in eyesight, it didn't matter if they were 500 yards off to the right and the fairway's like super straight, our friend Zach would just rip straight at the people no matter what. And we're like, brother, it's not a heat-seeking missile. It's a disc. just throw it.
Right.
So, Nathaniel Skinner, this was one that I was like, ooh, it's a situation. And these are becoming some of my favorite questions. They're longer to read, but I feel like it gives us some on-course stuff that we can really focus on. So, pretend you have a course where par from the long tees, Brad, is 900 rated. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll think about something that has like a long layout, a short layout, and a mixed layout. So I'm thinking like Fallen Creek.
Yeah, that's probably about accurate too.
So even par from the longs is 900 rated. In a tournament held at this course, MA4 is going to throw from the shorts. MA3 is going to throw from the mids. And MA1 is going to throw from the long tees. What scores would you say should be the threshold for each division, and should that person's top third score for that course, should they basically play as if they're going to play in their top third, or should they play as if they're going to play in their middle third? When I'm guessing picking the division. So does that question make sense, everyone? Like, does it make sense to you, Brad? So if 900 rated is even par from the longs,
yeah, makes
how
sense.
I'm interpreting this is, what score, if I want to be competitive in MA 3 to 2,
Gotcha,
should
okay.
I shoot from a medium layout? And what score should I shoot from a short layout? There is a logistics complication to that question, but if you want to tackle that, Brad, you can.
Yeah, I think I got to work backwards from this a little bit. I'm going to use that 900 rated from the long tees as kind of like my benchmark here. And I don't know if I'm the most equipped to answer this question, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I think if par is 900 rated from the long tees, it tells me the course is probably pretty difficult, or it has a pretty decent difficulty from the long tees.
Yeah.
Because longs from Falling Creek are they're tough. I mean, but they're doable. They're not impossible. It's a wide open course pretty much, but it's
If you're playing
still
a 4-man scramble, they're tough. I've heard.
Well,
A 4-man ultra.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Yikes! So it's a tough. It's tough, especially when you throw backwards when you play. Anyway, so I'm gonna guess that if I'm expecting 900 rated to be par from the long tees, I'm gonna expect that an MA3 to MA2 player probably should shoot within maybe 5 strokes of that. I'm guessing. So you think that's pretty accurate? So if they're playing from the long tees, so the mid tees, I would say, I'd probably say the same thing. Maybe 3 to 5 over is probably a decent goal to shoot for there. How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I think that's the logistics problem for me, is that if it's 900 from the longs, well, when you play mids, that's going to be a different layout, so it's going to rate differently. That's when I ran tournaments, I always put MA1 and MPO. I could change. You can literally change one tee pad that they play, put them on one long tee,
right,
and it's going to rate differently,
right,
than everyone else for that reason. So I think that's the hard part, is how much of a difficulty gap do we think? So I'll tell you this as you're doing your math, Brad. Most of the time I like to think about a stroke is 8 to 10 rating points on average.
Okay.
Because that's kind of how I set up doing this math in my head, is okay, the threshold for once you clear 850, you cannot play MA4.
Yeah.
Once your rating clears MA4 or
Right.
850. Now you can be an MA4 and shoot a 930 rated round.
Right.
People are going to be upset with you, but it's doable.
Right.
But that means that you shot realistically 8 to 10 strokes higher than the ceiling of, and this is also, this whole question, Nathaniel, is where Brody's problem with the rating system comes in. Because the rating system is based on averages. So if Brad and Jason both go play a round together, let's say where Jason's game shines is that Jason's lows are not that low compared to his average, but his highs are also not Jason's
high.
not going to go out and
Yeah.
shoot 17 strokes better over 2 rounds than he did the round before, because he's having a great round versus a good round, right? Jason's going to shoot. It's going to be maybe a 3 to 4 stroke swing either way. I feel when he's having a really, really bad day, it could dip. and it could spike on like a really, really great day, but those
Right.
are beyond anomalies. He's got a really good feel on, and I think that's, I mean, we've bragged on him before. I think that Jason's probably one of the best in the world at understanding his thirds.
For sure. For sure.
So, yeah, so that like, that's where Brody's like, I think that our rating should be based on our ceilings versus our averages, because that's where people get upset with baggers is Brad and Jason show up to play this tournament. Well, Brad plays out of his mind and pulls out a 950 rated round.
Yeah.
But he played MA3 because that's where he played MA3, MA4 because that's where his rating would put him.
Yeah.
And now everyone in that division is like, what the heck? Brad's a bagger. He showed up
Yeah.
and did this. And like Brad knows that was not normal.
Yeah.
Like that was a great round for me.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah. And I think you have to look before you start calling anybody anything. You have to look at their like history. If they're consistently doing that, then there's an issue. But everyone can have a great day. Everyone can have a really bad day too. So I'm just looking at Fallen Creek Red. We're kind of using Fallen Creek as like the benchmark here. So a certain player, and they have a league. So I'm like looking at kind of some scores there. So Reds, which would be the short layout at Fallen Creek, for and this is MA3 I'm looking at. It could be let's look at MA4. MA4. So MA4 shooting even. There's two players that shot even at MA4 at this event, and so even from the long tees or the short tees. So does that even like kind of just like push back? So MA4 from the shorts of this course should be, well, that's a 790 rated round though. To be fair.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Honestly, that makes sense to me at Fallen Creek because the shorts, you've got several par fours that are like 400 feet or shorter. You've got a lot of hole 7 or 8. I think it's 8. The one by the creek.
Yeah,
running alongside.
That's 9. It's 191 feet.
Is it 9 on Reds? 8 is 8 the big Hyzer.
Yeah. 8's like that straight shot along the creek. That's right below the tree. And then the next
then 9
one's-
is the downhill one.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, those two holes back to back, if you can throw under
Birdie,
200
birdie.
feet,
Yeah.
you could go birdie. That's
Yeah.
where the swings, and there's not a ton of OB on that course, which is also why the strokes
There's almost
don't
no OB.
swing. Yeah.
Yeah. So 5 under is 859 rated from the shorts.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't actually know how to back into this question, to be honest with you. I think if I'm an MA4 player, and this is like a 900 rated from even par from the long tees, I'm going to really try. I don't know. I think it just depends on the person, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Because like MA4, again, in this tournament, I don't know. This MA4 player that shot 5 under, is that like they're normal, or should they be bumping up to the next division, or is this like, do they have a good day?
Yeah.
I think as long as you're not over par, that's probably at least your bottom, right? I mean, or your middle as an MA4 player, just going
Yeah.
even par.
I would say so. How I would tackle the question for the first half, and I think Brad, if you want to think about how should they address, I think the back end of the question is probably most helpful for most of our listeners,
Yeah.
which is like, should that person's top third score for that T course or their average for that same, like when they're picking their division, or what thresholds for that division should they focus on, being in their top thirds or their average? But
Can I say something before you jump into your point?
yeah,
I think it also it really depends on the course.
yeah,
Like
for
what,
sure.
Because if I'm an MA4 player and like I have a really strong forehand, but I don't have a lot going on with my backhand, I'm working on it, and it's a really forehand friendly course, I'm expecting my middle third to be higher than on
Correct.
an all backhand course.
Yeah.
Same thing, like if I'm an MA3 player and this course is a little longer because I'm playing from the mids, and I know I'm going to be putting a lot of long putts, and my putt's a little weak right now, my middle third is going to be a little different than someone who's a strong putter. It's like, oh, well, I don't have the distance to park every basket, but I'm hitting all my 25 to 30 foot putts right now, so I'm expecting my middle third to be a little higher now. You know what I mean? I think that's where I'm having a little trouble figuring out where this should be.
Yeah, like we have a guy who's local who is a massive forehand player. Has a big forehand. Very, very good forehand. I would say elite level forehand. Backhand is good, but it's not like insane, and his putt is good. I would say it's not insane. But Aiden Scott is a touring pro, plays for Team Infinite. He won an event in the Tour Down Under this year, is where most people probably would have heard his name. And so Aiden Scott lives in Chattanooga, which is like 2.5 hours north of us. And Aiden comes down and plays. And if Aiden shows up to one of our local Birmingham events, we expect Aiden to win. At certain courses that are very forehand friendly, the other guy comes in and is competitive with a touring pro because of exactly what you're saying, Brad. Like it is, that matters. So when it comes to the 900 rated, how I would judge the front end of the question is, I would say, what should people be expecting to score if everyone was playing the longs? That's the better. I think that's the better way to approach the question, just because, once again, the difference between shorts and longs on a hole is massive. We talk about Fallen Creek as a great example. Hole 2 is a 400 and I think 50-foot par 4 if you're playing the shorts. It is essentially a must birdie for most competitive disc golfers. Like even in MA4, you have to throw a 220-foot shot and you throw a 220-foot shot and you have a 10-foot putt. That's it. And so that like must end with really not an obstacle in your way, especially if the OB doesn't exist on the right side for that hole. However, when you go to the longs, it turns into like a 700 something foot par 4 that plays uphill for the last 200 feet of the hole into a protected green. That is a tough birdie to get. So like just the difference between longs and shorts, suddenly we're talking about a hard par versus a easy birdie. You could see a 3-stroke swing on that hole alone, based on whether you're playing longs or shorts. So that's where I think the toughest part of the question comes in. So if we think about a stroke as being 8 to 5 or 8 to 10 points, even rated as 900 rated from the long tees, if you're playing MA4, I always like to think that if you can shoot 2 to 3 strokes better than the cap of the event, that gives you a pretty solid chance. If you can average that for the event, you've got a pretty solid chance of winning. So if I'm playing an MA4, the cap is 850. So I want to be shooting somewhere in the 870 to 875 rated event average. And that's not going to win it for me every time, but it is going to make me competitive. I'm probably going to podium if I can do that over and over again. So that means that I can afford to shoot probably 2 or 3 over par. And that's going to be competitive for MA4. MA3, I'm going to need to shoot somewhere in the, I'm probably going to need to shoot 1 or 2 under par on average in order to win MA3, because that cap is 900. MA2, I'm going to need to shoot somewhere in the 5 to 6 under. And then MA1 caps it, or no, MA2, I'm going to need to shoot in the, like 4 or 5, and then 6 or 7 for MA1. Once again, those ceilings can change depending on your local area. Some places you go, MA2 is super competitive, and their MA1 field is trash because most of them just jump to MPO. Some places you go, their MPO field could barely hang in that place's MA1 field. It's all local. But when you're picking, do you think, Brad, you should be choosing based on your upper thirds, averages? Where should you put yourself divisionally?
I think it depends on what's your goal, because if I'm trying to challenge myself, then I'm trying to push myself to make my upper third now my middle third. So I need to continually challenge myself. So I'm going to say try to place myself on my middle third and just push for my upper third performance. If I'm just trying to like steady out and just try to feel the field out and just play good disc golf and not too much worry about like, I guess, improving my rating, but just more of like trying to expose myself to more tournament play, I think I'd pick my bottom third, because like in my mind, I'm not playing any worse than that. I can always just go up from there. I think it's just like what you're trying to accomplish. So yeah, that's kind of what I would think. I don't think you should ever play according to your upper third, just because, or try to jump in a tournament according to your upper third, because that's a rare percentage you're going to perform at that, especially under pressure, especially in a competitive setting like that. But I think you should definitely push yourself on your middle third and just force your average a little higher.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
yeah.
because if you play the numbers, right? If I walk into an event knowing that my thirds exist, meaning 33% of the time I'm going to play average, 33% of the time I play really good, and 33% of the time I'm going to play really bad. If I walk into a division knowing that the only way I'm competitive in this division is if I play my upper third, I've got a 33% chance of success of doing well in that division, and I have a 66% chance of failing.
Right.
If I go based on my middle thirds, I have a 66% chance of succeeding because my middle thirds are going to be competitive, but my upper thirds is definitely going to be competitive.
Right.
I've only got a 33% chance of failing on my lower thirds.
Correct.
And to me, that is where you know you need to move up, because if my 33% chance lower thirds still has me competitive, is that 100% chance of being competitive? Like, I know that I can play bad and still be competitive. That's, I think, where people start looking at you like, this person's a bagger.
Yeah,
Like, this
sure.
is because, once again, if my lower thirds is competitive, the next step up should definitely be competitive. And now if I show up and I play my single thirds, there's a guy locally, once again, that got absolutely roasted. He played MA4 for his first ever tournament. He was unrated. And round one, he shot 1,000 rated round.
Oh.
MA4. Like, the tournament was over. It was
Yeah.
a 3-round A tier, and nobody stood a chance because he was that far ahead. He could have shot MA4 rounds the rest of the event. Didn't matter because he was that far ahead. So, don't be that guy.
Just one thing really quick too, just to back up your stroke, like, I guess, theory. So at this, following the short, right? So your MA4 5 unders rating 859, evens rating 790. Jump up to MA2. Those guys and gals are shooting a 900 rated round from shorts for MA2 is 8 under. And then I'm going up to MPO, and these guys are shooting crazy numbers. Like 17 down is what people are shooting at this course, 16, 15. And those are all like 1,000 rated. Like the 17 under is 1025 rated. Just so.
That's crazy. You shoot 17 under par on a 18 or 20 hole layout?
Yeah,
Probably 20 hole.
which is 3 eagles on the scorecard, by the way.
Yeah. Like,
I'll shout him out. This is Eddie. He won the Hyzer Club Championship last year.
yeah.
So
Props
Eddie,
to you, brother.
Yeah, he's very good at disc golf.
So, John in Louisiana, we have a couple tech disc questions today.
Oh, sweet. I've spent more time on the tech disc, so I feel like I can accurately. I had an epiphany
Okay.
on the tech disc. So
Okay.
continue.
This is going to be perfect for the last question then. John in Louisiana, wondering what speed, i.e. tech disc, can Hyzer technique become effective? As an older, slower arm player, when I try to Hyzer, it usually fades so hard, so I mainly just throw flat. Thanks for your thoughts. I would ask, effective for what?
Correct.
Because a Hyzer itself can be effective for a multitude of things. But effective for gaining distance, maybe a single angle shot is not it. That's where you see people get blown away, and you'll hear them talk about like, let's see, who was it? Gannon Burr at Ledgestone a couple weeks ago threw it was like a 438 foot par 3, I think. It's one that Calvin aced last year.
Yeah, the slightly
And
uphill.
Yeah, Gannon threw a forehand. Threw a forehand into the circle. He had like a 20-footer left. And it was a single angle forehand Hyzer. That is insane. Like, that is, to think about how much distance you're having to push on that Hyzer. Reliable the whole time because it's not coming off that angle. You know what it's going to do. It's going to fade. It's going to push. Going to do those things. So that's reliable. But yes, John, if you're trying to get distance, I would say that, to me, the speed doesn't really matter. Like, if your speed increases a certain threshold, then the effectiveness of that Hyzer is how much farther you can throw a reliable Hyzer shot. That's about all that matters. Because if I throw a 20-mile-an-hour hyzer, and that's not true. If I throw like a 35-mile-an-hour hyzer for an upshot with my pig or my zone, it's going to be great for 150-foot throw-in. Like,
Right.
that's fine.
Yeah. I don't know that I have any comments on this one, which is very rare, but I think my questions are the same. Like, are you trying to like work on a hyzer flip? Like, what are you trying to do? And if you are, and you are a slower arm player, then you can definitely accomplish that with the right disc. It's just really, really, I don't know. It just depends. But there are discs you can use to do that. Like, there's plenty of lightweight options now. So I think encourage you to do that. But I don't know. I don't know where practicing it on the tech disc, other than like angle control, if you're really trying to work on angle control, like that could be valuable. So that's, I think that's all the real feedback I have for that.
As a slower arm player, what I would tell you, the numbers that you should be focusing on, if you're focusing on, don't focus on the speed. If you're focusing on the hyzer angle, make sure your hyzer angle is not too extreme, because if you're trying to hyzer flip to get distance and your natural angle is throwing hyzer, then anything I would say above 30 is going to be like really tough to get a disc to hyzer flip. It's going to have to be super flippy, especially if you're a slower arm player. And the other one is nose angle.
Yes.
Because if you're trying to throw hyzers and you're throwing hyzers nose up, it's going to be really tough to get them to hyzer flip. So that extreme angle is going to be even worse. So those would be the two numbers I would pay attention to more than speed, are amount of hyzer and otherwise. Anonymous, I'll watch a lot of PGA. I'm wondering, why wouldn't pros try and play every tour that counts for points? I see a lot more often FPO players that are in the 22nd to 23rd in the rankings, but are missing events even though they are healthy. From Canada, so mostly talking about Chantel and Sophia Donachie, but also Simon Lizotte.
Well, my thought here is, number one, they're traveling. Travel is tough and expensive. Also, playing in every event also takes money that's expensive. And if you're not like really, if you're especially FPO, if you're in the 22nd to 23rd spot, you're not really making a whole lot of any money. You might be making breaking even, maybe, but that's not counting your travel and stay and all that. So I think it's just really hard to be a full-time tour player and play every single event that counts for points, because of both schedule, travel, and also, I mean, finances. Like, you have to be able to afford to play. And like a Chantel, like, I don't know how much Prodigy's supporting her in that. And I know she has tour discs and stuff. That's why we all buy tour discs, because we support our favorite pros, and some of that money gets to them. But I just don't know if you're an FPO player, specifically the 22nd to 23rd spot, if you're really going to be able to afford to like play every single tour stop. And also, if you're still shooting 23rd in all those tour stops, you're not going to be in a position, even with playing every points event, that you're going to be a top contender. So it almost doesn't even make sense, I guess.
Yeah. So cash line in FPO is most often top 20, like top 21. It was for Idlewild. So Brad, knowing that, how much money do you think Last Cash made in FPO at Idlewild?
Idlewild? Let me think about this.
I'll tell you what
I
what
think
the winner made, if that helps give you some point of reference.
Did Paul, can you see Paul like at MPO really quick?
Yeah.
Because I think Paul make 13,000?
Made 13 grand, yeah.
Okay. So that means FPO probably made 7 as the winner, or
8.
less. 8.
Pretty close.
Okay. So I'm guessing $350 is the Last Cash.
That is so impressive. 316.
Nice. Okay.
It may have been 350, but there was a tie. There was a 3-way tie for Last Cash.
Got it.
So they split. The way that it works for everyone who doesn't know is that they take all 3 of those payouts and they combine them and they divide it by 3.
Right. Makes sense. So, and I'm guessing that entry fee for that was probably like $200 for a pro.
300 for every pro tour.
Okay. So you made $18 if you finished 21st.
Yep. And that's if your sponsors didn't cover it.
Yeah.
But that's where I think for most FPO players, depending, even I would say, really, even if your sponsors are covering like your entry fees and throwing you a bone with like some stipends or whatever it may be, like if you're so Chantel made cash at this one. I know you use Chantel as your example here. Anonymous person. Chantel made cash. She came in 15th. She made $700.
Okay. Now,
So if Prodigy's
her-
covering
yeah.
her entry fee, for sure, I can almost guarantee you Prodigy's covering that entry fee. She's on their tour team. So that $300 didn't matter for her. She's probably getting some form of a stipend from them, some form of like monetary compensation, and she's probably getting some help for travel because she's coming from Canada.
Right.
So all that to say, she still has to sleep somewhere. I know Chantel does not do the RV life,
Yeah.
because I know they don't do that. So her and her amazing fiance, Chris,
Yep.
are they got to sleep somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, if you get a dirt cheap room, it's like 150 a night, and we're talking 150 a night is a hotel room that you're like, okay, this is probably in a sketchy part of town.
Yeah.
Also, I've been to Burlington, Kentucky. There's not a bunch of hotels just around that area, so your options are pretty limited. So we'll say $200 a night.
Yep. They're there for a week, probably, right?
Yep, probably got in on Monday or Tuesday, but we'll say that Chantel decided to go budget, so she got out on Wednesday, played 2 practice rounds, and then called it a day. So that's Wednesday,
she was
Thursday,
somewhere before
Friday,
that.
Saturday, Sunday.
She was somewhere before that.
Yeah, like we're talking $1,000 in hotel rooms. So she has lost $300, and she hasn't eaten anything. Like she just hasn't eaten.
Yeah. Or rental, or Uber, or.
Yeah, like it just, there's so many factors that come into it. So it really, I think it's a cost thing. And then in the case of Simon, so if you go to the opposite side of the spectrum, I think for so many people, it is busting through. If you can figure out a way to tour and you can be a grinder and get in the points, I think that it shows. Let's see, DGPT standings. The other hard part is that like if you're really good, you can end up in a world that like you do well at 1 or 2 stops, and that gets you enough points that like you're set. Like Katrina has not really been a name that I feel like we've seen popping off all year, but she is in 15th.
Right.
So like she has made the tour championships so far.
And that's really all that matters, right, Robbie? Just making the tour championship is the only thing points matter. So yeah, if you're
Correct.
like Simon is way there, so he doesn't even have to worry about it. He's getting big sponsorship. He's getting paid from his YouTube channel, so he has another revenue stream, and he has a fairly new family. So that's also
like
that
Jennifer
reason.
Smiley, friend of the show,
Shout out,
fantastic. We brought her on. Jennifer
for
Smiley
5th.
is fantastic. She top 5 at Idlewild. Has 667 points. She is currently 140 points outside of the tour championship cut line. She has missed so few events this year. And so she's like full-time touring. She's doing the thing, right? It's a cost thing. And Simon 100%, if he's not at every event, is because he likes his family.
Yep.
He wants to be with his
He
family.
doesn't
That's
have
the
to
other.
be. He just doesn't have to be there. So there's probably a gray, like that middle gray area where you Anonymous have a point. Like those people they're like, okay, I'm going to be within 20 to 50 points of getting into tour championship. I got to play every single event that I can. And they probably have a decent sponsorship. They're probably working their way up the rankings. But those 22nd, 23rd place finishers, especially FPO, as you could just tell, are like you probably don't have a big time sponsor. You paid $300 to be in. You didn't make any of it back, and you traveled, and you're out everything. So you're in the whole $1,000, $1,500.
Yeah. Simon is at 911 points. Has not played every event. Cut line is up there. Simon is 300 points clear of the cut line.
Yeah.
For tour championships.
He could probably not play a single event, right, and be fine.
Yeah, he could play his home event at Maple Hill and probably still make tour championships.
Yeah.
So, but like Paul Ulibarri has done the bounce back and forth. 34th. Like Ben Calloway, if he had not won an event, would not be in the tour championships right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Has been to all the events. Alden Harris at all the events. Kevin Jones at all the events. Silas Schultz at all the events. Paul Kranz. And these guys are just not like, so it's not just a guarantee that if you play all the events, you're going to get it. So that's where I think the cost comes down to it. The unfortunate part about our sport, Anonymous, and I think that the thing we have to realize is that the pro scene is at this weird crossroads of it's sustainable for the best and it's profitable, I would say, for the best. But because we have to have a full field, the Pro Tour is diluting the money to try to throw a bone to the middle ground players.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's just not really enough of a bone. So that's where you're seeing. I mean, we saw it this year. We saw lots of people. Chandler Fry, the Chanimal, was a grinder on tour. Has now he now works for Discraft because it financially did not make sense for him to keep doing it. So it's tough.
Right.
Jacob Bro, Bro Breau, everyone, just so you know. Hey there, Brad and Robbie. Been recently trying to work on putting and getting more reps in at different distances. He's a spin putter and averaging 8 out of 10 from 15, 5 out of 10 from 25, and 1 or 2 from 10 out of 40. Putting something he's always struggled with, but he feels like his form is getting better, starting averages a little higher. However, finds that he's way too inconsistent past 25 feet. Have a day where he feels like his form is dialed and he's getting good results. And the next day, he's way worse than his average, inconsistent with his misses. So asking for some advice, and maybe in disc selection, he puts with Jawbreaker Banger GTs. Should I use a putter in a lighter weight past 30 feet or maybe a lid type disc at a certain distance? Thanks. Appreciate all you do.
All right. Well, how do you want to tackle this one? You are the putting guy.
I would say I would love to hear when he's talking about like inconsistent from those distances. You are someone who has to putt. You putt on a live stream every week. And
Yes.
I would say that consistency is not really a strength of anyone in the putting league except for
Hunter. Usually.
yeah.
Trevor these days, though. Trevor's cooking right now.
Hey, all I heard is Trevor got second this week at putting league, so trash.
Yeah, trash. Yeah. So, I'm still mad about that. I'm still mad about that. Anyway, so I really feel you, like Jacob, right now. I'm kind of in this spot again because I realized something about my form, so I've changed it. And it's just there's just some growing pains with putting. Anytime you make a little change, I feel like there's such a valley before it comes back up to being successful again. I do not think whatever you do not start changing putters at different distances. That just seems like a bad idea to me. Because now instead of being sort of inconsistent with one disc, you're now going to be sort of inconsistent with 3 discs. Because you're now taking I'm gonna call it chain time. Can we start that chain time as putting time? You're gonna have less.
How are you investing your chain time?
Yeah, I like that. So you're gonna get way less chain time with each of those putter types versus just a lot with one. I hate to say this, but I think you're thinking about it too hard, Jacob. I think you're making it too analytical, and so much about putting, what I'm just trying to realize and trying to implement, so I'm speaking to myself too, so much of it is muscle memory and so much of it is mental, less oh, do I hold it specifically here, or too much wrist, not enough power, too much spin, not enough spin. I find if I just putt and don't think about it and just focus on again, coming back to our first question, I'm okay, disc goes in basket, make disc go in basket. And usually I do putt way better that way versus like, okay, all right, my back foot's here. I got to make sure I load my legs a little bit. When I come up, I got to make sure I have enough pop. I feel like I'm adding variables that don't necessarily need to be there if I'm taking the amount of time doing it. Which, Jacob, it does sound like you're spending a lot of time, or at least trying to spend a lot of time putting.
Dialing it. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing
Getting a lot of chain time.
Yeah, a lot of chain time. I think what I started doing a lot was I added way too many motions or like variables into my putt. So I think that you're maybe in the same position, because I was like, okay, well, I'm slightly staggered. If I do that, I got to kind of bend both of these legs. I'm taking this down to where am I touching my leg on with the putter? I'm touching it here. I make sure I release here. Got to make sure my fingers do this. And like, I just didn't need to do that. I need to go back to my old putt, which is like, Brody said it was funny at like 2 a.m. During a particular video that we filmed with Brody, and he was like, oh, you just got to do this. And I was like, oh, wow, why did I stop doing that? But it was like, I just had to put my foot back behind my other foot, which gave me a lot more like swing. And that way I didn't have to like change my putt so much for further and further distances out, or like give it a little heave. I actually gained more swing back, which is what I used to do, which is why I used to be so accurate putting. So, and it's really with that putting, like that putting style, it's more of like I'm holding my disc correctly, my foot's where it should be, and I have my swing. And I just kind of adjust the power based on where I am. So now I have 3 variables versus like 7. So that's what I'm kind of thinking, Jacob. Like, try to maybe strip it down to like bare bones, and just like what helped me a lot was just putting from 20 feet a lot again, and just getting that rhythm down and my swing down. And then like it just kind of like you just put a little more power on it as you get back. Now, when you get outside the circle, you got to start stepping and all kinds of that stuff. But like, if you're accurate from 20 feet and you can make 9 out of 10 putts at 20 feet all day, every day, you're going to be dangerous. You're going to improve your score every time. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, 20-footers are that thing where when you actually measure out 20 footers, you realize like, okay,
it's longer than you think.
This is longer than I think, and if I can be if I can be lethal inside of this, everything outside of that, like I can give myself a chance. Just draw metal. That's that's the biggest piece of advice I can give you outside of 20 feet is make sure you're drawing metal, because if you're drawing metal, you're not gonna 3-putt.
Yeah.
I was waiting on bated breath all of Idlewild as Allie Smith was on coverage pretty much the whole time, and I was like, yep, she's gonna miss these. Like she's just gonna miss these, and like you can tell the commentary can sense how nervous she is about it. But yeah, I would say, Jacob, Brad hit so many good points. Like, make sure that it's just like, let my body do what my body needs to do. Definitely don't change putters. I will say that when I don't switch putters till I clear like the 45-foot range. And even then, I'm still putting with a Wizard. My Wizard is just like 4 grams lighter. Yeah. That's it. And the only reason for that, it does nothing else on the flight other than when I give it the same amount of pop that I give to another one, it probably gets like an extra 5 feet of distance. But lots of times that will, because I don't practice circle twos as much as I should, there are tournaments where I'll do that and I'll miss a couple circle two looks by being just a little high or something like that. And I'm like, okay, I don't need it today. So I'll just go right back to my normal putter even there, and it's fine. Because, it's switching them around can only, it most often just hurts the confidence as you go through. But I will say, for me, the focus point when I feel like I'm really inconsistent and you're getting your chain time in, instead of I'm pulling too right, okay, I'm pulling too right, not enough spin, all those factors coming into your head, like we talked about at the very beginning, you throw where you think. So if I'm thinking about don't pull it, I'm just going to keep pulling it. So I like to, in my chain time, practice and think about like a really common positive thing of the throw, and know that if I do that, it's going to be a good putt. Does it go in? Maybe not, but it's going to be a good putt. And for me, that is like, as a push putter, I'm supinating and popping my fingers. Like, I know if I just like serve the tray, if I just have my finger pop, it's going to go in a straight line. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not going to do anything horribly wrong. And like I said, I may miss putts, and then if it really is breaking, I go to a straddle. And I can do a straddle, just pop the fingers. And once again, I'm not going to make everything, but I'm not going to two putt. Like, it's just gone. So that's what I focus on is what is your, as a spin putter, you don't have to make that many adjustments. That's the whole beauty of spin putting. Yeah. So find your spin, find your motion, and lean into it.
May I also say that maybe the Banger GT is not a great putter for spin putting?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I actually I had my hands here because I picked up a disc, and so I was trying to think about okay, if my thumb is involved in the spin putt, which it should, it's sending it forward a little bit. I feel like you could be tempted to have your fingers too far, your thumb too far back to really utilize the groove track, and it may be messing with the angle.
Yeah, you also might be digging into that sort of groove, and maybe you're just pulling it. If you're trying to, especially if you're going further back, you try to get more power, you're probably digging your thumb into that groove and probably pushing it off to the right. I would be curious, Jacob, are you missing to the right a lot?
Yeah, I don't know. Let us know. Let us know, Jacob. So, Brad, we got a long episode going, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the last question, and then
Let's do a shorty.
Well, this is, we teased it, so I want to make sure that we talk about that tech disc question.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, because this one it has your name in it, calls you out as the wrong word or phrase. I have mostly been able to relate to how far Brad throws and what flights he gets out of discs. Bang. That's that was the whole heart of why we started this podcast. And
first
when we
of all,
did this together.
I'm sorry. I want better for you. Continue.
Hey, but positives. Here you go, Brent. It seems like he may have increased distance, though. So I was wondering if we were still comparable. While distance is a metric you can measure, it is not as reliable a mark to go by since different discs add more variables.
Also, I like how you talk. I like how you talk.
So my question is, Brad, how fast do you throw? Mm-hmm. And just for fun, Robbie, how fast do you throw? So you've been using tech disc. Mm-hmm. So that's where I was like, this is perfect. Because I did not prep this question with Brad. So I was fully prepared to not maybe have an answer for this. So when you're throwing, you're doing tech disc sessions, what would you say is usually average speeds versus okay, I'm just going to try to PR?
Yeah. So my normal smooth backhand speed is 52 to 53. That's kind of where I am with that. Now the other day when I figured out a few things, I was getting into the upper 50s. I even hit 59 a few times. But I wouldn't say that's accurate yet. I wouldn't call that my normal swing. But I think I saw 54 quite a few times, 55, but I'd say 53 is probably a conservative estimate to my my normal smooth backhand. I'm not trying to kill it. Forehand, I feel I'm close to 50. I feel 48 or 49 I think is my average on forehand, to be honest.
Yeah. I honestly couldn't tell you what my forehand speeds are. I don't throw forehands in tech disc that often.
Yeah, I mean yours have to be 50s, high 50s, I would think, right?
Yeah, I don't like forehanding a Undertaker. So I think that's why I don't forehand with tech disc, is because I don't like the disc that I have. I have a Buzz and an Undertaker, so I don't like forehanding either of them.
Yeah. When you come up next, I have we have a Cicada and we also have a Force.
Yeah, the Force I've thought about reaching out to tech disc and being all right, let's do something and let me get a distance driver.
I think we have a Zeus too. I don't know. They sent us another one. I forget which one it was. But what about backhand?
So backhand for me, Blitz had me on this drill for a long time. It was a rule of fives. So when I started warming up, he would have me throw. The goal was you pick your average speed, and that's what you work around. And you try to you go 5 mile an hour shorter and 5 mile an hour faster, and that's what you're trying to hit, so that you can really see okay. So my average was 55 for a while. And so what I would do is you want to throw 50 miles an hour with as little effort as possible.
Right.
And that's your warm up. So you want to throw 5 shots at 50 miles an hour, no effort. Mm-hmm. 55 miles an hour, and then 60 miles an hour. Those were where I started like several months ago. And now those have jumped to where 60 is about my average. And so I am like, when I throw 55 to hit 55 right now, I feel like I can go brain off and just fire a 55 mile an hour shot off.
Yeah.
At 60, I have to have the right things going. And 65, that top end is one that you want to touch, but it may not be one that you're just like, hey, I'm just hitting this number every single time. And so I will have in a session where I throw 15 shots like that. It'll be like 55, 56, 54, 55, 55. And then I'll jump and I'll be like 60, 61. 60 is really hard for me to hit on the number for some reason. I'm either like 62 right now or I'm at 59. Like I cannot throw a 60 mile an hour shot to save my life.
Well, it's probably right in between like a regular versus giving it the beans. Like it's probably right in the middle of that.
Yeah. And then when I try to juice them, that's where it's like I'm getting like 64s, 64.6, 64.8, things like that. So I also rarely actually touch 65. But we're changing those things around. So
yeah. So no name person, or at least I can't see a name.
No name.
No name person. I think that, and to maybe answer your question, I have added distance, and I think you probably saw that on if you watched the pizza video, and I was like struggling to get into 50s, so I went from like I probably increased by like 4 miles an hour. So that's probably, now the thing is, like I think you hear Robbie saying like, oh, he can just fire off a smooth 55, and that's not much slower than what I do. The key to Robbie's versus mine though is, Robbie, what's your RPM at like 55?
It's somewhere in the like 1100s.
Right. Mine's like 900. I'm saying you throw much further than me because you're getting the appropriate amount of spin. So a lot of other things in your form are firing really correctly versus like, that's what I'm working on launch angle because I had an epiphany with that. And then, just trying to get more spin, and I kept trying to get more spin with how I'm gripping. But really, the spin needs to come probably from my power pocket if I'm like actually pulling through the correct way versus how I'm doing it, and that's really what I'm trying to work on now. Because even like Hunter at 55 miles an hour is throwing like 1200 RPM. Like it's about the spin really that more than anything.
Yeah, and that's you're gonna find that over and over again. Let's see this one. Trying to find like one that's like 56 miles an hour, 1125 RPMs.
Okay,
in a throw set. So
it's
the numbers definitely adjust, and I really like how you approached it, Mr. Anonymous or Mrs. Anonymous, in that like it's hard because distance itself can be, there's so many more variables, right? Like I could be getting massive distance out of throwing a Sapphire on a mile high flex line. Cool. Like I'm not saying that that's bad distance by any means. You're still throwing far. You're still doing the thing. I remember back in the day, I had a conversation with Molt about this because Molt would upload these videos and he's like, I threw 450 today. And it was literally like, I threw a Sapphire on a Sky and Hyzer with not a stitch of things in the way. And it's like, yeah, you did. And I used to bother me, but now I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, if I want everyone to have distance, I want everyone to be throwing a country mile. That's so fun. It's so cool when you can do that. Like, I've never looked at a football field and thought it would be boring if I could throw over this with a putter.
For sure. So I pulled up my tech disc too. So like I was playing the simulator during the last event. They had the simulator thing come out. Ledgestone is when they did it. And like my last full like tee shot was 55 miles an hour, negative 0.5 Hyzer, but my spin was only 907.
Yeah.
And then my one before that, 54.5, then 54.9, 54.2, all of them less than 920, between 985 and 920 spin. My problem is I'm knuckleballing these at 55 miles an hour, but they're not getting any spin to them. And then, my forehands look like 46, and I can't see the rest of them.
And the other hard part I will say about tech disc is that for most people, you're going to throw anywhere from like 3 to 5 mile an hour faster when you are trying to send it. Like your top end at tech disc is going to be 3 to 5 mile an hour faster than what you probably can get on a course.
For sure.
Because there is just that reckless abandon of tossing it into a net.
Right.
So that's where, like, when I was hitting 55 on average, that was my middle ground. That meant that top end of 60, I really wasn't going to be hitting 60 on the course that often. So if Brad's like top end right now is that 55 to 57 miles an hour, then on the course, he's probably not comfortably throwing the disc that fast, especially at a place like New London where there are trees and OB in the way. You're going to feel a little more hesitant to go all the way back to Benoit's question at the beginning.
Yeah. I'm probably throwing like between 50 and 52 on the course, probably somewhere in that realm.
Which is great. And that should be a 300, depending on the other metrics, that should be anywhere from a 300 to like 340 foot drive, which is what Brad's throwing. Like, it works. So, yeah, a lot of, I love that we're getting more tools. I love that we are growing.
For sure.
And that side of things. I was on vacation last week, so I wasn't here. And the guy that, there was a new boyfriend with us, for my sister-in-law, and he's a golfer. And he was asking me questions about like coaching inside of disc golf. And I was like, yeah, you know that y'all have this tool and this tool and this tool and this tool.
Yeah.
We don't have any of those. But we do basically have a speed reader. And it's been really helpful in my coaching sessions because of blank. So
Yeah.
we love spending time on it. But guys, we're over an hour. But we already learned what's new in the warehouse. So if you skipped through because you want to go straight to the questions, surprise. Now you got to scroll back to the beginning.
Yeah.
But
Yikes.
Brad, any final thoughts as we wrap it up?
No, man. I just appreciate everybody. Thanks again for getting us over that 2,000 sub mark. It's a big deal and it continues to grow. So thank you all so much for that. Make sure we're about to the time of the year where we're getting ready to make some new in the bag merch and possibly, and definitely some more Robbie C merch. So we just need some ideas, guys. So feel free to always comment below and throw them out. We want to make stuff in this community for you. We don't want to just make what Robbie and I like. We want stuff that you all like as well, especially discs. Maybe getting some new discs printed up for a couple of vending events. So let us know what you want to see. In the meantime, we hope everything's good. We hope it stays in your bag, not on your shelf, as some of you gave us the wrong answer for. And we'll see you all next week.